sounds. All right. Looks like we are live.
Welcome to the Monday Motivation with Eric and Friends podcast with your host, Eric F. King, featuring world-class speakers, coaches, and consultants. Join us every Monday as we dive into empowering conversations that motivate, inspire, and educate entrepreneurs. Kickstart your week with valuable insights that help you not just survive, but thrive. This is your go-to podcast to start your week strong and live your best life. Let's make Mondays the fuel for your success journey.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Motivational Monday, and we are excited once again to come to you today. We have Aaliyah Garcia is in the house. We have Zan Inaugural. We are going to give you a lot of great nuggets and tips today. Now, our topic for the day is how to sell your offer without being pushy. Wow. Let me tell you something. That is the key without being pushy, right? So, just a couple weeks ago, I was speaking with a lady who was actually, it was more than a couple weeks ago. I think it was like over a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I was speaking with a lady about potentially speaking on my stage, and we had a discussion. And I told her about everything, and she said she needs to think about it. And I said, "Oh, that's absolutely okay." I said, "When you're ready, just contact me, and we'll set you up." And I said, "Is there anything else, any other thing I can do to help you?" And then she asked me a few questions. I answered her questions. I said, "Well, it was nice meeting you." And then she reached out to me last week and said, "I'm ready now." I said, "Okay." So she signed up to speak on my stage in April. And after she signed up, she said, "Eric, the reason why I called you back was because you were not pushy the day I spoke with you. And I felt comfortable calling you back to get started." So I just, so I, and that happens a lot. That happens a lot. And that's just an example of why you should not be pushy or salesy, right? When you are speaking to your prospect. All right. So we are going to dive in to this incredible topic. If you are watching us now or listening to us, definitely put a comment in the chat, either LinkedIn or YouTube or wherever you are, so we can shout you out. Welcome to our call. We are here every single Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. So at this time, I'm going to call upon my first speaker, who is in California, where it is actually 4:03 in the morning. Imagine that, folks. She got up that early for you all to give you tips and nuggets to help you move your business forward. And she doesn't have to do that because she's a very successful businesswoman, helps a lot of people all over the world. But she's here. Leah Garcia is a dynasty builder. What does that mean? She people with all things money, not just for now, but for the future, for generations to come. Okay. If you want to make money, invest money, all things money, you want to contact her, you want to download her ebook, right? Look, it blessed me a lot when I read that ebook. It's powerful, right? She's also a black belt in karate. Now, black belt, not yellow, not orange, not blue, black belts. And I know the colors because I had it. Other people said it, but I didn't finish like she did, right? So she's very disciplined. She's very disciplined. She knows how to set a goal and accomplish it. So we are very excited that she's here today. So Leah Garcia, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Erica, King of Collaboration. Absolutely. I am Leah Garcia, and I am that dynasty builder. We're going to talk about how to sell your offer without coming across salesy. But here's the thing. This is what I believe. If you're not an evangelist for what you're sharing, then you're probably in the wrong industry. You got to be talking about it all the time and twice on Sunday, right? I woke up here at this time in the morning. Most people think it's in the middle of the night because I'm trying to bring you value, right? So I'm going to give you 3 golden nuggets on how to sell your offer without coming across salesy. So number 1, curiosity in the spirit of generosity. What I mean by that is be generous with your kind words, with your interest. Take notice of people. Ask good questions. Some people show up and they're like, Let me tell you about my product. Let me tell you about my offer. Let me tell you I can save your life. I'm like, ma'am, I don't even know your name. Like, wait a minute. You got to be curious about people and have conversations. That is, find out what's costing them the most stress right now. What happens if they stay where they are in the next 5 years? Because when they feel understood, they start to sell themselves. If you're talking more than they are, you are losing them. You got to get them naked. You got to do an x-ray on them. You got to find out what is really costing them and be very, very curious. Clarity is currency, and currency converts. Number 2, sell the upgrade, not your offer. Nobody wakes up excited to buy a policy package. Okay, they're not there thinking about how much money they can pay you. They want peace. They want freedom. They want their time back. They want less chaos. They want the upgrade of what you can share with them. You're not selling a thing. You're selling an upgrade. What's getting them, staying them stuck? That's what it's costing them. Stop negotiating the price. Listen, if I said they're going to pay me $100,000, you might think that's a lot of money. But if I told you that I saved them $1 million, then what does that think? What do you think of? It is about the problem that you're solving. So stop negotiating the price. If you keep lowering your price, listen, pretty soon you're going to owe them money. Okay. Number 3, detach so you don't sound desperate. This is what I mean by that. If you need that sale to pay your bills, then you are giving the wrong energy. No matter what's happening with you, no matter what is going on, you got to keep that at the door. You got to push it aside, and you got to be genuinely curious about them. You got to find out what do they really need, not what you need to pay their bills. Because what happens is if you are desperate, you sound weird. Your voice changes, your posture changes, and they can feel it. They can smell you. Even if you're thousands of miles away, they can smell you coming in the door. You got to take it away. The best sales close is the takeaway. This might not be a good fit for you. I don't know if this is going to work out for you. I don't know if you're going to qualify, right? You don't even know if you want them to be your client. Let me say that again for the people in back. Listen, not all prospects are clients. Some are just suspects. Okay, you want the real person who's going to who you're going to take the thorn out of their foot. You're the one that's the water that they've been searching for. Okay, they are on fire and you have the last bucket of water on earth. That's how they got to feel about you. And then they know that you're the right fit because you want them singing your praises. You don't want to sell something. You want them to sell you to other people. Right? If you just come there and you close them, you might make money. But listen, we came here to build a dynasty. We came here to build a fortune, and that's called referrals. So here's a formula. Diagnose before you prescribe. Sell the upgrade, not the object. Detach from the outcome because selling isn't pressure, it's permission. And if you truly believe in what you offer, you're not pushing, you're positioning. Because confidence isn't thinking they're going to buy. Confidence is knowing I'll be fine if they don't. We don't chase money, we attract it. And value always pays dividends. And with that, I'm excited to hear from the rest of my esteemed panel. And I hand it back over to you, Mr. Eric.
Awesome. That was amazing. Thank you so much. What a way to kick off this morning. You give people tips that, it's going to help them in their business for months to come, for years to come. Thank you so much for that. All right, so welcome everybody. I see some people are putting their names in the chat. Let us know where you are zooming in from today. We see Carl from England is here. Welcome. We see, let's see, Maranatha is here. Welcome. We see Paula in the house from Atlanta. Welcome. Simi is here from Jos, Nigeria. Welcome. Oh my goodness, Mary from Abuja. Welcome. Good to see you. All right, so Sharon is in the house. Sharon Rose, okay, from Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome everybody. Definitely keep putting your information in the chat. We want to see you. We want to hear you. We don't want to hear you. We want to see you. We want to see you, and I will shout you out. All right, appreciate all of you. All right, so we are going to go to our second speaker. And by the way, think of your questions as well, because we're going to answer questions. Okay. So if you have a question about this topic, This is what I want you to do. Put it in the chat, but start with the word question so we know it's a question, right? Question, and no question is a dumb question because whatever question you're thinking about, somebody else is thinking about it, right? So put the word question and then put it in the chat, all right? So let us know where you're zooming in from and then tell us your question. All right, so now we are going to go from California all the way across the world to Nigeria to hear from our next speaker. Now, our next speaker is known all over the world for what he does, right? He's world renowned, and people pay him to help them in one area. This is a training tip, right? You want to be good at one thing, so good at it that people will pray you from all over the world because you're good at that one thing. And this is what he's good at: positivity. His name is Mr. Positive Energy, Zion Anagru. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Eric F. King, for that great introduction. It's always a privilege to be here. And Queen Leah, thank you for kicking us off on a high note this morning, because this is a very powerful conversation. And I'm glad it's coming at this time because people need to know, people need to hear it, and people need to embrace it, the power of being able to say without being pushy. You know, for me, I've learned this over time that we are all different. As our faces are different, so our approaches are different when it comes to selling. But these are three things that worked for me that has really helped me improve my business. One is communication and building relationship. It's very important. I tell you, people want to buy from people they can trust. People want to buy from people they know. People want to buy from people that have been tested. So in the ability for us to build relationship with people, it's key. It's convincing enough that I know you. To buy from you, I will not be scared. To buy from you will not be difficult for me. Why? Because we have a relationship. A whole lot of people want to say to people, they don't even know them. Don't even have a clue about who they are, what they do. But for me, one thing that has really worked for me is the power of building relationship with people. Get to know people. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a haste. Get to know people, interact with them, have conversations with them. And I tell you, it's a major game changer. The second point, which has really helped me a lot as well, is asking questions instead of trying to convince people. When people want to say all they are doing is convincing, and convincing and convincing. When you try to convince people, you get so pushy. But instead of trying to convince, you know what? Ask questions. Because at the end of the day, you can't provide solution to a problem you don't know. You can't provide solution to a problem you are not aware about. So the question is, where are you in your business right now? What's one challenge you are facing that you wish to resolve? And such a question can spark a whole lot of conversation. And because you know what their problem is, then you know the solution you can provide to them. All the solution you have is not for everybody. So there's specificity when it comes to bringing solution to people. So the specificity in bringing solution is key for you to be able to convince people to buy from you without being pushing. Being specific in the sense that this is my problem. Your solution is tailored to my problem. It's going to convince me to buy from you because why? You know exactly what I need to move to the next level in my business. And lastly, this has really helped me a lot. It's share your why. One thing I've learned about selling is stories are powerful. People can resonate with stories. People can relate with stories. People can actually tell from your story. So, okay, this is why you do what you do. This is where I'm coming from. This is what inspired me. This is what motivates me every day to do what I do. By the time you share your story with people, people can truly resonate with you. And I tell you, there are people whose stories align with your stories. There are people who your story can just inspire them, who your story can be a catalyst for them, who your story can be a solution to the problem they are currently facing right now in their business or in life. So be able to share your story. Be a storyteller. Like Queen Leah said earlier, talk about what you do as if it's no man's business. Be crazy about it. Tie it to a story. It can be your childhood story. It can be an incident that happened that changed your life, that make you do what you are doing right now. Because at the end of the day, everyone has a story to tell. And the ability to tell your story is key, and it's very, very important. Lastly, in all you do, in all this factor, one thing I will always say is having a positive mindset, it's key. It's key because your mindset shape your life sets. Energy is contagious. Energy is influential. For me, if I want to buy, I want to buy with somebody whose energy can influence me, can affect me, and help me become a better person. So never forget, as you want to sell to people, as you build relationship, build from a place of positivity. Why? Because when you are positive, you are possible, and in positivity, there's endless possibilities for you. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I'll give my back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right, all right. Let's see. Yes, yes. Round of applause for Zion. And by the way, I forgot. Round of applause for Leah as well. All right, we're getting excited with these little gadgets here. That was great. That was great, Zion. Again, learned a lot. And it's funny because being positive applies to everything. It applies to everything we do. If you go into a sales meeting with someone and you're not positive, the person will see that you're not positive and they won't want to work with you. Right? If I want to talk to Queen Leah about my finances, about setting up my, I don't know, insurance, trust fund, and she's negative, I'm like, I don't want to work with this person. Right? I mean, Queen Leah is always positive, right? So absolutely, definitely helps. All right, so we're going to keep going. I see some questions in the chat, but we need more. We need more questions. All right, so we want to put your questions in the chat. Again, no question is a dumb question. Just put your question in the chat. I see a couple people have already done so. All right, so now we were going all the way from West Africa. We're going all the way to Europe to hear from our next speaker. Look, this guy makes you famous. How would you like to learn from a guy that makes you famous, right? He makes you famous. He made me famous as at least on LinkedIn for sure. For sure. I think when we met, I don't know, I think it was like 1,000 or 2 followers. I think we have like 14,000 now. And not just the number of followers, but the connections that we've built, So he's excellent at that. And he's also excellent at what he does, marketing, helping you writing books. And I won't steal his thunder. He does a lot. He does a lot. So now let's go to my good friend, Eni Osong, to share his views on this topic. Go ahead, Eni.
Good afternoon, my friends. Good afternoon. The interesting topic as always, Eric. Interesting. Look, I'll say this. I think, being pushy says a lot about your business. When your business is a certain way, then you have to be pushy. Or you might feel you have to be pushy. If you're unclear about what you sell, if you are not passionate about what you really sell, if you don't truly believe what you have can help people, you're in trouble. Then you're forced to try and get people to buy. I use the word forced deliberately, and you don't want to be forced in business at all. So I learned from the greatest of the great. Probably one of the biggest lessons when it comes to sales. And I hate selling in the first place, right? I remember when I went to a training program and someone said, "Sell like a doctor." Wow, that says it all. That pretty much captures how I've always been willing to sell what I do. That person was Mr. Eric in the Compassionate Closer course. If you've ever been, if you get a chance, never say no, right? And the whole point, which say Queen Leah and Mrs. Z have mentioned, is that we have to truly understand our clients' needs. We have to truly understand that they need what we sell. If you try and sell snake skin to someone who needs a service, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's not going to do them any good, right? There's no point doing that. So the first thing is really make sure you have a service that can help people, and the service that you truly believe in. All of us have, we deliver a service, all of us. And you have to truly believe in that service. If you don't, then the people you're trying to sell to will know you don't believe in the service. Think of how you respond when you think someone is being, it's not even light-hearted. It's someone is being disbelieving what they're trying to tell you in the first place. I'm going to get you 10,000 leads. It's like, yeah, right. How come you don't get the 10,000 leads for yourself? So you truly have to believe what you're saying and live it. You have to do what you say you do, right? Otherwise, no one's going to believe you. So the sell like a doctor point, I think, is hugely important. So when you truly take time to understand the people you're talking to, then you don't need to beg them to buy your products. You don't need to cajole them. You don't need to encourage them. You don't even need to sell to them. Saying when you truly believe what you're doing and you're talking to the right person, all you have to do is inform them of how you help. More often than not, they will say to you, okay, tell me more. I'm interested. Those are the words you're looking for. If people are not saying that, do you walk away for good? Maybe not. I think, again, Mr. Z made a point that we need to build relationships. So I don't sell to anyone on the first time I speak to them. They're like, why are you trying to sell to me? I'm like, I don't need to. Come and see for yourself what we do. All of us here do events. And my answer to everyone is always, come to one of my events. Come and see what we do. If after the event you can see how what we do can help you, let's talk. If you can't see how I can help you, let it go. It's fine. I'm more. You do something else. I can find a way to give people an insight into how you help. And literally no obligation necessarily. Say we don't need to get people to sign up on day one. We don't need people to talk to us and all we're saying is get your card out, get your card out. No. Let's build real relationships, real friendships. Friends do business with friends. Make friends, but make a lot of them. This is what some people do so wrong, Eric. They don't make enough friends. They make 10 friends and think that's enough. That's not enough. You need more. You need a constant flow of leads is what we call it, right? You need a constant flow, to always be building relationships, always be helping people, always be delivering, always be showing people how you're delivering, and your clients will speak for you. And I said, I'll leave it on that point. When your clients start talking about your great service, how you've helped them, you never have to sell again. It's an amazing thing. You might even get referrals. God help us, right? That's what I have to say today, Eric.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was incredible as always. And you get your applause. If there's a question as to whether we are live or not, we are live. We are always live here. This is not a recording. We are absolutely live. Okay. Yes, it's even Leah at 4 a.m. She is absolutely live. All right. So appreciate that. Incredible comments. Thank you so much. Welcome, Lisa. Lisa is here. Welcome. Oh my goodness. We have a lot of people joining on today. Let's see. Who else? I see people are joining, but they're not really putting any comments in there. So you want to put your comments. Let's see. We have Ardelia. Good to see you. Welcome. All right, folks. So I'm going to share some information. Now, just to give you a little background, I have been selling for 25 years, and I have sold products that were $10, and I have sold packages that were, let's see, 800,000, almost $1 million for big corporations, right? So I've sold in different areas, different fields, to different people on the phone or live, in person, almost every way you can sell. Okay, so the information that I'm sharing is through experience. It's not ChatGPT information, right? This is something I've lived since I was in my 20s, right? And just like I didn't like selling at all. I I didn't want to even get into sales. I got into sales back and I did, but then I learned to love it because I found out that service to many leads to greatness. If you do it the right way, you're serving people. Okay. So I'm going to give you a few tips. I'm going to start with what Annie talked about, sell like a doctor. So I'm going to explain that concept to you. Okay. If you were sick and you went to the doctors and the doctor walks in and said, okay, so we have this antibiotic that will be perfect for you. It worked for the lady that just left. Take one a day for 10 days and you'll be fine. Take care. I'll see you later. And walks out. How would you feel? How would you feel? You would feel like, wow, this guy he's a quack. In other words, he's not a real doctor. Like, how can he just prescribe something? He doesn't know what's wrong with me, right? So now this is what most people do every day in their business. They're the doctor that walks in and prescribes and walks away. And guess what? Nobody buys. And I'm like, Eric, I have this great product. Like, nobody's buying. I don't know why. Because you're not selling like a doctor. So what is it to sell like a doctor? When you walk into the office and the doctor says, so what's going on with you? Tell me the issue, right? And you're telling him or her the issue. And then they say, well, so when did it start? So how does it feel? And he's asking all these questions. Now you're feeling that he cares or she cares, right? Right? All right. So now you find out, we call it fact finding, right? So the doctor finds out, finds out what's wrong with you. And then the doctor diagnoses you and said, okay, based on everything you've told me, this is what I see that's wrong, right? So now they know what's wrong. They're telling you what's wrong. Now I'm going to prescribe medicine to help you. And then they prescribe the medicine. So as a business owner, your medicine is your offer, your product, but it's tailored to the person. It's not the same for everybody, right? Because everybody's answers are a little bit different. That's what is called selling like a doctor. And it's very, it's seamless. It's natural, right? You don't leave the doctor's office saying, I was sold on these prescriptions. No, you're like, I'm so happy that she helped me, that she, and now I have, the prescriptions I need. So that's what we talk about when we talk about sell like a doctor. Let me just say this too. Selling is not common sense. Let me repeat that. Selling is not common sense. You don't just create a product and everybody buys. No, most people won't. You'd be surprised. You're like, wait a minute, nobody's buying, right? It's not common sense. It's a learned skill. You have to learn it. You have to learn the right way to do it. I was working with a lady a couple of years ago. She was into taxes and things of that nature. And she told me after the class, she said, Eric, I probably lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars because I didn't know all of this. I was just getting up there and saying, hey, this is what I got. You interested? Right? So it's something that you actually have to learn. Okay. I'm going to give you another tip. When you meet with someone to share your offer, at the beginning, you want to control the conversation, right? In other words, you want to let them know, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. This is what I'm going to share. We're going to see if you qualify, all of that stuff. Here's a line that can put everybody at ease, okay? So you meet with them and you say, okay, so I'm going to share with you my product or my offer, whatever it is, fill in the blanks, right? And when I'm done, you let me know if this is for you or not. That's a powerful statement, folks. Write it down, circle it, underline it. You will let me know if this is for you or not. You have to say or not because it doesn't count if you don't say or not. Let me tell you. And people say, well, Eric, if I say that, then I'm suggesting that he doesn't buy. No, it's the opposite. If you meet with someone and you say, hey, Leah, I have this great coaching program. It's going to bless you. I know you're going to get it. It's a no-brainer. I know you're going to buy it. Okay. Guess what she's thinking? I'm not interested in this. This guy's already trying to force me into something I don't want. You see what I mean? So you never want to say that. You want to give them an out. Right? So it said, so Leah, when we're done, you go over this. You let me know if this is for you or not. Now she's thinking, oh, he's not trying to sell me. Now she can calm down and actually listen to me because she knows I'm not desperate, right? So now she feels calm. So you always want to say that this may be for you or not. Okay. So those are the tips I want to give you today. By the way, I want to let you know, Annie talked about a coaching program. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as we go around the room and everybody talks about what they do. But so let me just share this. I have a coaching program called Compassionate Closer Coaching. And now it's 4 weeks. It's like 1 day a week for 4 weeks, 2 hours a day. And I teach you all of this. I teach you how to conduct a sales interview is what we call it, right? What you say, what you don't say, how to price your offers, how to sell it without being pushy, right? How to make people feel comfortable, how to get someone to sell themselves. That's powerful. How to get people to sell themselves. That's powerful, right? So we go into all of this. So it's coming up shortly. If you're interested in learning more, I'm going to put a link in the chat. Where you can hear from some of the people that have actually been in my coaching program. Call if you can put it as well in the chat. And here you'll learn from, you'll hear from some of the people that have been in my coaching program. If you're interested in a short 30-minute audit of your sales process, book a call and I'll be glad to help you. Even if you don't join my coaching, I'll be glad to help you. I'll be glad to learn more about what you do, to give you some tips, right? Because, my goal is to help people. Again, service to many leads to greatness, right? So yeah, so click on that, successwitheric.com/work with me. It's in the chat. All right, so that's what I want to share right now. And by the way, for those of you that know me as the King of Studio Events, we had a great event last week. Thank you all for showing up. I saw all of you, my panelists there. It was an incredible event. The speakers are still excited about it. They got a lot of great feedback, got a lot of clients, sold a lot of books, right? So thank you so much. Follow me on LinkedIn and you will see, follow me on LinkedIn or Instagram and you'll see a lot of videos and pictures in the next few days from behind the scenes, okay? And if you are interested in speaking on my stage, go to studiospeaking.com, check out the short videos, 4 minutes, and learn more about what I do. And if you think it applies to you, book a call. Okay, we do have an event coming up. We do have a couple spots. All right. So now I want to ask Zion and Leah to share really quickly what you have going on. Maybe you have something that you want to share with everybody, how people can reach you. And then we're going to jump into the questions. I see some questions here. So we're going to go with Leah first, then Zion.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Eric. Well, I am the Dynasty Builder, and right now it is tax season. So it is time. I know you think it's all in April. No, now's the time. If you're a business owner, you're a high achieving entrepreneur, now's the time to start thinking about taxes. I just dropped an incredible LinkedIn newsletter. Subscribe to my newsletter, get some great tax tips. And with that, hand it over to you, Mr. Zion.
All right. Thank you so much, Leah. Yes, for me, I'm a positivity coach and mentor, and I host a Positivity Live every Friday. So for anyone you want to be around people who are very intentional about positivity, Friday Eastern Time, 2 p.m., and West African Time, 8 p.m., we bring our community together where we have different discussions. And for anyone you want to amplify your voice, you want to share your message to the world, you want people to know you more, we are on a business to help people to be amplified by hosting online events just like this. You want to reach out to more people, you want to make more impact, you want to strengthen your voice. We help you host events like this, or we'll put you in the front of your target audience. And beyond just that, in collaboration with Mr. Eni, we are helping people become an author and best-selling author through hosting online events. So you want to be an author and you don't know what to do and how to go about it, we do so much for you to help you and help your business. So that's what we do. Thank you so much. I yield the mic to Mr. Eni now.
All doing amazing things, my friends. Look, so I had my author speakers conference last week, so Thursday. I thank everyone who came, everyone who supported, all my amazing speakers, and all my friends who were part of the show. So So now I feel like I've got some breathing space to do what I normally do, which is write books, publish books. Actually, I got 3 books to finish off in a hurry, and then the other 35. Let's not worry about that. That's what I do for a living, right? I got a masterclass coming at the end of the month, 31st of March. We're doing a masterclass on how to make your first 10K a month on LinkedIn. If that interests you, my friends, connect with me. I've just put my link in the chat. So do connect with me and let's talk.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right. So we're going to get to the questions, folks. We are going to get to the questions. The first question is, what's one simple way someone can introduce their offer naturally in everyday conversations? Okay. So we'll do the same, we'll go the same way each time. So Leah, Zion, Annie, to make it easy. All right. So go ahead, Leah.
Yeah, that's a great question, Carlene. And I say if you know your offer well, you're always listening for what that biggest challenge is. So if somebody shows up and they tell me, gosh, I'm just not able to make all the money that I want to make, or I feel like I'm paying too much money in taxes, listen, just be curious, have a conversation with people, and when your business is in you, you're going to be fine-tuned and you're going to hear those words. It's like it will start amplifying and jumping right at you. Great question, Carlene. Over to Mr. Zion.
All right. Thank you so much, Leah. One thing we mentioned earlier, we spoke about having building relationship with people. And I tell you, when you begin to have conversation with people, naturally you talk about what you do. It flows naturally. It's not something you think about. It flows by having a conversation because that's who you are. The solution you provide becomes you. And for every conversation, the solution you offer flows naturally. It's not forced. So having a simple conversation, it's very powerful. And then it pushes you to talk about what you do.
Yes. Well said. Well said. Sorry, my friends. I'm going to say the same thing in a different kind of way, right? It's about getting to know people. Like I say, I don't say on the first time I talk to you, I want to at least meet with you a few more times. Maybe I want to see you at one of my events, like I said earlier, right? I need to know that I can help you. To the point Eric and I made, hopefully well enough for you to understand, is you only sell to someone who you can help. And Cornelia says, you have to, it's by listening. Listen to what people are saying. Listen to person. When I meet people, I want to know who you are. I want to know what you like, what you don't like, what life is like for you. And if there is something I can help you with, I think I'm obliged to tell you. I'm obliged. We're in business to help people, right? And if I can help you, I'm not going to let you walk away with your pain continuing. Now, truly, learn to tap into that part of people. It doesn't mean becoming friends with people to really get to really know. It's not just what they want. What they want, what they've been through, what's worked, what hasn't worked. You get as much as you can. You can't design a service that's going to help anyone if you know nothing about them. So just get to know them, get to care about people, spend time with them, and they'll sell themselves. they'll ask you, how can you help me? Cool, that's a golden question, right? That's what we want to try and get to.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you so much. So it looks like my panelists stole my notes. Yeah. I don't have much to add to this, but I will tell you, I had an experience. This happened a couple weeks ago. A guy he scheduled an appointment to speak on my stage, and he said, "So Eric, yeah, go ahead, go ahead and sell me on speak on your stage." So I started laughing. I'm like, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, what do you mean by sell you? He said, no, yeah, convince me. I said, oh, I don't do that. Oh, no. No, I would never do that. So first of all, this is how it works. I'm going to ask you some questions to see if you qualify to speak on my stage. And if you do, then I will share the details of what we do and how we help people with the VIP. The initial, then I'd love to have you on my stage. But if it's not, perfectly okay. Did you get that, folks? Now, when we started, it became natural because I found out about him to see if he even qualifies. When he qualified, I told him more about my stage, right? That's natural. Now, imagine if I answered him by just pitching. Oh, this is what I do. That's not natural. That's not natural. I don't even know what he talks about. I don't know if it's a good fit. None of that, right? So I hope that helps you all. I hope that helps you. I don't want you to think that whoever you talk to, you just need to pitch them. No, you need to find out whether what you have is a good fit for them, right? Or else it will be very awkward and not natural. Not natural. So I hope that answers your question. All right, so let's go to the next question with Coral's question says, thank you, Leah. Thank you. See, I love having Leah here. She's always clapping for me. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you again. All right, so Coral asks, how can I detach from the outcome so I don't sound desperate? That's a great question. How can you detach from the outcome so you don't sound desperate? All right, so I'll throw it out to my panelists and we'll do the same order.
Yes, that is a fantastic question. And I'm going to defer to Karate for this answer. My first sensei said this to me. When we arrive at the door, we bow. And people think that's a sign of respect, which it is. But it's also a signal to ourselves to leave our troubles at the door. You got to get really, really good at leaving your troubles at the door. So you got to take yourself through a little, some sort of a routine, some sort of ritual, right? Maybe you bow, maybe you meditate, maybe you journal, write down your troubles and worries, leave them at the door. In fact, put them outside of your door, right? If you're in a Zoom, so that you're leaving it there and you're totally focused on that person. And it takes a little bit to be able to do this, but there's that level inside of you and all you're doing. This is why God gave us 2 ears, 1 mouth. We need to be really, really good at listening and just hearing what they have to say and put everything else that we have going on at the door. Great question, Coral. Over to you, Mr. Zion.
All right. Thank you so much, Queen Leah. And Cora, that's a very powerful question. For me, there's one thing I've done over and over again, not to sound desperate by taking my eyes off the outcome, is to focus on the person I'm talking to. Focus on the person I'm having conversations with. Sometimes we think too wide and we forget what is more important. Active listening, paying keen attention to who you are having conversations with. Because at the end of the day, you are not in control of their responses. You are not in control whether they choose to buy or not. But what you are in control is being fully interested in having a conversations with them. And I tell you, when people see that you are interested in, when people see that you are really invested in them, I tell you, you don't have to worry about the outcome. The outcome just flows from a place of having an intentional conversation. So thank you so much. I'll yield the mic to Mr. Eni.
Beautifully said. Look, I think the biggest mistake people make that I see is they get one person interested in what they buy, what they sell, and they want that person to buy, right? They want 100% conversion. That's just not how it works. On a good day, you'd be lucky to get 4 out of 10 people to buy. That's extraordinary. That is so good. If you're at 4 out of 10 people who say yes and pay and get the card out and pay you, out of 10, you're doing amazing. Don't be harsh on yourself. Don't be thinking I need to convert more, right? So you need a flow of people to make up the numbers. I always say to my clients, when you talk to 10 people, then come and talk to me. because they have numbers to play. We can learn something. They can learn whether it's your process, whether it's who you're talking to. We can learn many things, right? So don't make it one lead must convert. I must convert. I must convert. You have 10 leads, and then you convert a few of them, and you learn the process. You learn a system of having these conversations that we're talking about. That's a simple way, right? And then there's a lot of people, so they think today. We don't need everyone to buy today. Much of your sales and marketing is for the future. If someone says no now, it doesn't mean no forever. It means not right now. Keep that in mind, and then and keep nurturing that relationship over time, and they will buy over time, right? They will. They will.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. That incredible advice. Again, my panelists stole my notes for this question because I want to reiterate the two things is number one, go into every meeting with a mentality of how can I help this person today? If you go in with how much money can I make, number one, you'll be so nervous. You'll be so nervous. Because like, oh, how much am I gonna make? Is he gonna buy? Will I be able to pay my rent? Like you're just going nervous, and it's so obvious when you're speaking. So go and think, okay, I wonder how I can help this person today. That's number one. And then number two, you want to build up your marketing engine. In other words, you want to talk to more people, right? The more people you talk to, the less desperate you are, right? If I need to pay a bill by Friday, and I'm only speaking with one person between now and Friday, that's a lot of pressure on that one person. I'd be like, okay, Leah, look, you need to buy, okay? You need to buy today. They're gonna kick me out. You need to buy for real. And she'll see the dollar signs in my eyes, right? She'll be like, I'm not buying. So that's the thing. You want to help people, but then you want to talk to a lot of people. So let me just share this with you. You need people to be successful in your business. You need people to buy, but you don't need any particular person. Okay, so write that down somewhere. You need people, but you don't need any particular person. So if you're talking to somebody and don't have any signs that they're interested, right? Oh, that like, why keep going? Like, it's not for you. It's okay. Let's go on to somebody else, because you don't need them to be successful. You just need people in general. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next question. Let me see if somebody else put a question in here, because I know Carl has some great questions, but let me just go down, see if there's any other question by other people. If you guys see some, let me know. If not, I'm going to go to Carl's question. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's a question that I know a lot of people think about. How can I talk about pricing without feeling uncomfortable? That's all. Ooh, that gets people all the time. Talking about pricing. Like, some people don't even want to tell you. Like, some people just put it on the website. They don't even want to say it from their mouth. like, how much is it? Just check out my website. So let's talk about it. Starting with Leah. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I love that, Eric. You're so right. And here's the thing. Oftentimes I see entrepreneurs are working hard, but they do what I call putting on the gas and the brakes. They're working hard, they're staying up late, they're missing birthday parties. But when it comes to the money, it's like they get all discombobulated. It has to feel like a natural conversation. When I share with somebody what I'm going to do with them, they always are like, oh my gosh, that's all it is. So you have to have that confidence in what you're doing and the value that you're bringing. If you have a little bit of uncertainty, listen, 1% doubt is 100% uncertainty. You got to be 100,000% confident that what the value you're bringing is worth. If you charge them 10 times, that it would still be a discounted price. So great question, Coral. And I want to hear from Mr. Zion.
Go ahead, Zion. You're next. If I think he's frozen.
I think
Okay, go
yeah, so
ahead,
it's frozen
Annie.
at a
For
precise
me
point.
specifically, one thing I'll do,
Oh, okay,
just to
okay, he's good
encourage
now.
anyone out there, it's pricing that you've thought about, whatever pricing that you have in mind, you are worth it. Tell yourself you are worth your price. The reason why most people are scared to talk about a price because they feel it's too high. Or people might not want to patronize me. Whichever price you've decided to put on your value, because your value does not have a price tag. If you really want to put a price tag, in fact, people cannot pay. But there, whatever when it comes to pricing is practice makes perfect. The only time you talk about your price is when you're talking to somebody about it. For me, I've done what I call the mirror practice. I talk to the mirror as if I'm talking to my clients. I repeat my price again and again and again. So when I'm talking to my client, it's not the first time I'm saying the price. It's not the first time I'm being vocal about it. I've reacted it again and again and again. So when you do that, you don't feel
All right, all right. Go ahead, Annie.
That's a remove. Right, look, pricing is probably the most difficult part of business to deal with. No one tells you this, right? As Mrs. Z said, there is no right price for your business. There's no fixed price for your service. That means you have to set a number that you truly, number one, believe in. Believe that you're giving value for money. You don't want people buying your products or your service and then saying, "Oh, that wasn't worth it." How do you know it's value for money? Well, I guess you have to make sure that, well, number one, that you serve people's needs. It's like we're going around in circles today, right? Same thing, same answers, right? Look, your pricing is not a problem if you truly believe it and if you deliver more than the client expects. And there's so many different reasons why we feel uncomfortable. When I had a team recently, I realized that we can only sell at a price that the team believes in. Too often I had my staff going out saying to people, "Here's what we charge," and in their heart they didn't believe a word of it. And that you never get sales that way, my friends. Right? You have to truly believe it. So I guess maybe more than believe it. See, what are you willing to pay people for their services? I think that all counts. You can't sell $1,000 product or service if you have never bought $1,000 product or service. That's the truth. If you're staying cheap, then you saying my product is worth $1,000. It's not you don't believe it yourself, right? What you do comes around to it goes around and comes around. I promise you. It goes around and comes around. I promise you. Be the
That's
person
right.
who spends the money in the right places and pays the right amount.
Thank you, sir. That's incredible advice, because if you have never spent 1,000 and you're charging 1,000, it will show in your voice that you don't believe you come up with $1,000. It will show in your voice. The way you'll talk about it is like, so it's $1,000. You interested? So you got to be confident. So what I want to share, what I want to share is this: when you talk about pricing, people buy when the value outweighs the cost. The value outweighs the cost. I don't buy anything unless the value outweighs the cost, right? If the value is the same as the cost, people won't buy. If the value is less than the cost, people won't buy. So whatever you're selling, make sure it has true value to people. True value. Whatever I sell is worth way more than I'm charging. Okay, so that's the most important thing. Only charge a certain amount if you know the value is more than that, or you'll have a hard time selling it. Okay, that's very important. All right, so we only have, let's see, 5 minutes. So let's see. I think we don't have time for any more questions. Let's just go around the room. Last points. We have 5 minutes, so 1 minute each. Either you want to give us a last point about what we're talking about, or a last, whatever it is. I'm going to go around the room 1 minute each, starting with Leah. Go ahead.
Yes, this has been a great value. I took a ton of notes. And here's the thing, if this was valuable to you, share this with somebody else who's in the sales industry, which would be like everyone you know. We're all selling something. We're trying to sell our kids on how to eat their vegetables, right? You might be selling your spouse on why you need to go to movie night. So we all need this information. And absolutely, I would say in closing, I would say this, is that you have to believe that what you're doing is right for people. If you have a little bit of you're uncertain, you're questioning, you've never bought $1,000 offer, but you've got a $10,000 product, you got to get really introspective and know and be congruent in what you believe and what you do. With that, pass it to you, Zion.
All right. Thank you so much, Queen Leah. For me, I just want to encourage us. The reason why we do this is not just for us to get you excited. It's not just for you to, it's Monday morning and, it's a good way to start the week. No, we do this because we want you to take action. Transformation can only come to your business or to your life when you take action. Beyond just motivation, there is need for you to take action. So for every nugget you've heard today, for every insight, for every powerful share you've heard, please put it into practice. Put it into practice. And lastly, keep building relationship, because at the end of the day, everything revolves around people. You buy from people, you sell to people, because people are the most important assets you can ever have in your life. So thank you so much. I yield the mic to Mr. Eni.
Well said, Mr. Z. I won't repeat what you said because I agree with you entirely. Look, see, I'm doing a book about pricing, and it's not like all the other books, that say, work at your base cost, work at the competitor's cost, and so on and so forth. I realize the gap in the market is that your pricing it's not about what's in your head. It's your mindset. Fix your mindset, and you can get close to the price that you want to charge that's right for your business. And you can communicate it with ease. Look, work on your belief in yourself, work on the brand you've created, work on the solution that you're giving people, and work on believing that you're giving value for money. Simple as that. Like Eric said just now, if you give them more than they're paying for, easy. If you give them more than they're paying for, easy.
And that's a great way to end it. Believe in yourself, folks. You got to believe in what you do. So I put the link again for you that are in learning more about my Compassionate Closer coaching program. If you want to book a call, some tips with you. Coral, put that in LinkedIn. I just put it in Facebook. If you can put that in LinkedIn. If you're here live, put in #live. Okay, that's for Sharon and everybody. Sharon Rose and everybody. Put in #live if you're here live. If you are here, if you're watching the recording, put in #replay. And what we ask is for everybody to share this. Share this on LinkedIn. Just repost, right? Share this on your social media. Send it to somebody. Bless somebody today with this information that we are blessing you with. And I hope that all of you are able to use this information to go out there and to sell more offers, make more money. Nothing wrong with making money. Make more money for yourself and your family. All right, folks. So we will see you here, same time, same place, next week, Monday. And it has been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege to be here with you this morning. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.